Good morning, welcome to Mimi's Kitchen. Today I'm going to share with you how I make zucchini nut bread. It's a favorite around here when the zucchini start rolling in, and this is a good way to use up all those big zucchini that you have. So for this recipe you'll need 2 zucchinis, which makes about 3 cups of shredded zucchini. You'll need baking soda, baking powder, and some salt. I used all-purpose flour, vanilla, cinnamon, some fresh eggs. You can use either chopped pecans or chopped walnuts in this recipe, some raisins, or you can even use craisins or dates, a cup of sugar, and I'll show you how quick and easy this all comes together to make a delicious bread that you can eat right away or freeze for later. So the first step is to take a zucchini, wash it and cut off the ends, and then I just grate it. Now I could have used my food processor, but I didn't really want to have to clean all that up, so I just used a hand one to shred up the zucchini real quick. The shredded zucchini has a lot of moisture in it, and that's what makes this bread so good. You don't really taste zucchini in the bread, it's just there for the moisture. So this recipe calls for 3 cups of shredded zucchini, and that is about 2 nice size zucchini. So that's what I did here, is I shredded it all up and got 3 cups. Now if you're going to use smaller zucchini it may take more, but the 2 that you see here made exactly 3 cups of zucchini. Now, as I said, this recipe can be changed up and used in so many different ingredients like dates or raisins or craisins, even chocolate chips. So the possibilities are endless. So the next thing is to mix the wet ingredients, and that was 1.5 cups of sugar, 1/2 cup of oil. I'm sorry, that's 1 cup of oil, and I just used vegetable oil. And then you're going to mix in a teaspoon of vanilla and 3 eggs. And these eggs came from my backyard chickens, and the yolks are so beautiful and a deep yellow because I feed my chickens well. They get a lot of greens in their food and a lot of fresh vegetables, which makes a really good egg. So I've added in 3 eggs, and I'm going to take this over to my mixer and whip it up and get it all incorporated. Then we'll move on to the dry ingredients, which again was 3 cups of plain flour, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of baking powder, baking soda, and salt. So I just stir that all together with a fork, making sure everything is blended well. Then I go get my wet ingredients from the mixer, and we're going to mix all that together. See how easy this is? So there's the sugar and the oil and the eggs and the vanilla, and I'm just pouring that into the bigger bowl that has the dry ingredients. Then I'm going to mix that up real well before I add in the zucchini. There goes that nice zucchini that's going to add up so much moisture to this bread. And for this recipe I used 1 heaping cup of raisins, 1 heaping cup of walnuts. Now my second batch I kind of changed it up a little bit, but you just mix all this together. This is the standard zucchini bread recipe. You can use golden raisins or the dark raisins. And so I have this really nice little mini loaf pan that I got at Walmart years ago. I just greased it with some Crisco, and I'm going to flour it so that the bread does not stick to the pan. This works better for us because I can freeze these little loaves and then pop them out for a nice breakfast. So that's why I like to use the little mini loaf pans instead of the bigger pans. But you can certainly use, this recipe would make 2 regular loaf pans. So after I've gotten it floured very well, I'm going to scoop this mixture of walnuts and raisin zucchini nut bread into the baking pan And I bake it at 350 for 30 minutes. Now everybody's oven is different. Check it after about 25 minutes to see if it's done. And you can insert a toothpick in the top, and if it comes out clean, it's pretty much done. So there's one pan. And I put that into the oven, and in about 30 minutes it was perfect. Now my second batch, I decided to get a little more creative. So I had some coconut. I was looking for craisins, but I don't have any. But I did have some trail mix, dried fruit trail mix, which has pineapples and apricots and coconut in it. So I poured that onto my board. And so this batch is going to be pecan, coconut, raisin, and a dried fruit medley. And it turned out delicious. So see how nice and yellow those eggs are? I'll tell you what, backyard chickens are great. So just like before, I'm scraping off all of the wet mixture and adding it to the dry. And here you can see I have my chopped pecans this time, raisins, the dried fruit mix. I'm going to add in the 3 cups of zucchini. And I had a little bit of coconut left over, so I poured that in there. And I'm telling you what, coconut in this zucchini nut bread is so delicious. I love coconut. A lot of people don't, but I love it. And I got to thinking that this recipe would be great to add in white chocolate chips, craisins, walnuts, and coconut. So I think that will be the next time I make the zucchini nut bread. I'm going to use those ingredients. But here's the little pieces of dried pineapple and dried apricots, and when they cooked, they got real moist and soft. So that was a good way to use up some stuff I had in the pantry. And I'm going to mix it all together just like I did the first batch, and pour it into my multi-baking pan, and then cook it again 350 for 30 minutes. Now these breads went to some friends. I've got some family members I'm going to share with, and then a lot of it will go in the freezer. And when my husband and I just want a quick breakfast, zucchini nut bread is healthy and it's delicious and it's very filling. So I hope you give this recipe a try. It makes great gifts for people. And like I said, the possibilities are endless with this recipe. There they are, packed, ready to give out or put in the freezer. I had some coffee and some zucchini, coconut, pecan nut bread this morning. It was so delicious. I'll leave the recipe below. If you like, please give me a thumbs up and comment if you make zucchini nut bread. Thanks so much and have a very blessed day.